I believe I know exactly what happened to Nicola Bulley. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel Break the Ice, the channel that strives to seek truth and justice through the medium of interviews and true crime deep dives. So this video, as the title suggests, is the follow-up to my theory and what I believe happened to Nicola Bulley. And it's my refined theory, and it's also a plea to find the caravan that was mentioned in the previous video, which I believe does hold the key to solving this mystery. After reflecting on all the comments and the feedback that I've had to Nicola Bulley, the theory video, I now believe that I know exactly what happened to Nicola Bulley. Not just where she ended up, as in the caravan park and in a van. How it happened, by whom, and the scenario. Going off further research post that particular Nicola Bulley theory video. Your comments and input have helped me to do this. So thanks to everyone that has commented. I've gone away for a week. I've looked at all the comments. And there's a lot of comments in there that I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Or, oh yeah, that may not. But this isn't about me cracking the case. This is about everyone chipping in. If I put a video out and someone notices something that might not make sense or they can add to it, that's great. That's what we want, isn't it? We want to find the truth for Nicola Bulley and a family. This refined theory that I've got, the outcome is exactly the same as my previous video. But the journey to get there is more refined now. And that has helped to a lot of these comments. I still and now always will believe that Nicola Bulley ended up on the caravan park and in that vacant caravan. And I strongly believe that she was put in the water at a later date. I believe this even more now than I did in my previous Nicola Bulley theory video. I think we're onto something. I think we may get this case reopened. And I want to just state straight from the off, like, this isn't a theory pulled out of nowhere. This is so much research and so much hard work gone into this. Speaking to people that have done their own work, looking at people's videos that are helpful to this. It's an accumulation. Well, there's an awful lot of work that's gone into this, and I really do believe it has a lot of body to it. This is, of course, in my opinion. I need to make it very clear that I'm not saying my theory is fact. But this is my strong opinion. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. However, this is the only explanation that makes sense to me. And I also want to say right now and to reiterate that this theory is based on a multitude of points. About, 20 points from the previous video, and there's about 12 more that have come afterwards. So it's not just sitting there going, I think this, I think that. Well, why? I think this because of this. I think that because of that. It is based on many, many, many factors and not just one. So I had some comments on the last video with regards to one of them points, which suggests that A, Penny isn't a viable witness, which I totally agree with, by the way, and we'll get further into that. And that Willow could have possibly gotten underneath the kissing gate, going off a video of a different Springer Spaniel going underneath that very same kissing gate. So we will go further into those 2 points. those particular comments have actually only strengthened this theory that I've got. They've not debunked it. They've not made me think otherwise. They've strengthened what I actually believe. When I was going around all of the river area and I was looking at all of the different areas and I was coming up with what I believe made sense, I did make a point a few times about the witness, Penny, saying that Willow was running between the bench and the kissing gate. That was while I was there in St Michael's and Wyre. The caravan park wasn't even a factor, really, until I left. Once I was leaving the towpath and I saw the caravan park to the right of me, that's when I started thinking about the caravan park. When I was walking around the fields, the upper, lower, the river, the bench area, the kissing gate, all that kind of stuff, the caravan park wasn't a factor in my mind at that point. I totally believe that she's not a reliable witness. But it's, like I said, it's helped me. These comments, put in a respectful way and in a way to try and help, are great. I want to make these videos, get your feedback. That's why I want the comments. And slowly try and get closer to the truth. This could get reopened. Comments put in a respectful manner with information which could help, bring them on all day long. Because those two comments about the dog going underneath the kissing gate and Penny not being a reliable witness are very, very helpful and solidify what I believe happened, and more so refine it. So I believe I know exactly what happened, though I'm not stating it as fact. It's in my opinion. So like I said, this isn't about me cracking the case myself, but about everyone chipping in so we can crack it together and get the justice which clearly has not been served. And I'm open to feedback on things that I might have missed, because it all helps. I also want to say that 1 or 2 points out of 20 points, it doesn't take away from the 18 or so other points that I've made. Some people have said you're basing this on one factor, that Willow couldn't have got through the gate. No, I've not. I based it on about 20, and actually now, furthermore, there's another 12, so there's about 30 factors that I'm basing this on. Some people like to prove you wrong and debunk you. It hasn't done that. It's helped. Whether that was your intention or not, I don't know, but cheers, because it's actually really helped. If you've not seen the previous video, go and check it out. Nicola Bulley, My Theory, 2 years on, go and check it out. This is the follow-up. I actually think this video is bigger than that last video. That one just had me in St Michael's, so me going to all the areas and stuff, that, you know, a lot of people found that very interesting. For me, this one has got much more information in it. I've been able to reflect on all the comments. A few people have got in touch via an email or through a contact and spoken to me, and I've learned more things, and again, it's solidifying the theory so much. So I want to go through those 20 key points and factors that led me to this theory. I'm going to do it fairly quick in case you saw it last time, but also I'm going to read them out in case you've not seen the last video, which you should go and see. Number 1, the 2 screams heard were dismissed at the inquest, suggests that an altercation or being taken against a will. Number 2, Willow running between the bench and the kissing gate. Right, we can cross that off. This point was made last time. Cross that one off, yeah? Again, we're going to get right into this. Number 3, Willow was reported as being bone dry. Number 4, the Fitbit problem. The Fitbit was collecting data for 8 days, and it was said that it wasn't possible for Nicola's Fitbit to have held a charge for 8 days in those water conditions whilst attempting to report heart rate data. Now, I originally said this would suggest she was alive for 8 days. I now believe this was to lead us to think she was alive. And I'll go further into that. No police or search teams found Nicola in a very clear, in a lot of areas, and shallow river in a lot of areas, and in a very short distance from where Peter Falding found her. So from where they believe she went in at the bench down to where Peter Falding found her is like 60 metres. The river was hardly moving. It's very clear in a lot of areas. It's very shallow in most areas. And that's 9-10 days of searching. Not just the police, but other search teams. And they didn't find her. Yeah? And we're going to go into these things a bit more. I don't believe this is... The police did a bad job, or the search teams did a bad job not finding her. I don't believe she was in the water for 8 days for her to even be found. So according to Peter Falding, he found her when he arrived, which was day 10, which would suggest she wasn't in the river until just before he arrived, hence why the police and search teams couldn't find Nicola. There was no CCTV all the way down the towpath that runs alongside the caravan park. Once through the gate, there is nowhere else to end up without being seen, apart from the caravan park. You end up at the end of the towpath at Garstang Road. The blind spots on the caravan park reported in an article. A man that said on video that someone had been in his caravan whilst he wasn't there in the time that she was missing. And he said that Penny said he has to sell the caravan and get off the land. Why? Why force him to do that? Why force him to sell the caravan? The caravan that he said had been broken into in the time she was missing. There was no crime scene set up, and the caravan park wasn't checked until 2 weeks later. So this would mean she could have been kept there for a long time after going missing. And for the same reason, she could have been placed into the river at a later date, under the cover of darkness, without being noticed. And there's another point down the line. The police were communicating with the community and letting them know we are no longer searching the bench area of river. Right? So the community and the people in the caravan park would know that they've stopped searching the area. So what a great time to put a body into the river. They're not searching there anymore. Peter Falding comes along. He wants to search in the hotspot where they believe she went in and finds her, in his words. Why? Because I believe she was placed into the water just before he got there and just after the police stopped searching there. I don't believe that the search teams missed. Just don't think she was there. The caravan park owners would have known that a caravan was vacant. Penny's account as to finding the phone and finding Willow has changed on many occasions. She comes across very angry and defensive. Her grandson seems off, angry, defensive too. Dogs are clearly not welcome on the field unless they're on a lead, and Willow wasn't on hers as a harness was found. Did someone from the caravan park lose their cool with Nicola? Penny was known to not like dogs off leads, and she also kicked a dog off the caravan park. A dog owned by one of the residents in the caravan. I think it was a Dalmatian. Bodies do not float when they drown. If Nicola fell in at that river's edge, she would not have floated down that slow, sleepy river. Her lungs would have filled up with water. She would have sank right there on the river's edge. And to suggest that she floated down the river at a metre a second is an insult. Knowing Peter Falding on a personal level now, and having trust and faith in him as a person, and I've worked with him a lot, And we became friends, and I know him. And I've got faith and trust in him as a person. And I find him credible. Seeing the sonar images for myself, and they're all out there. I'll never show them on this channel. But seeing the sonar for myself in an area 60 metres from the bench that the search teams and police said had already been searched. The image was measured to be the exact same height as Nicola Bulley. This whole trying to unravel what happened to Nicola Bulley is a marathon and it is not a sprint. So I'm going to make my videos with as much information as possible. And your feedback helps. And I can go away and think a bit more and do a little bit more and this, that, the other. And eventually, I believe we will get there. I really do. So I want to elaborate on a couple of the points, comments that have been made about the last video, the ones that I mentioned earlier. So the Springer Spaniel dog going through the kissing gate video. Someone told me about there's a video of a Springer Spaniel going underneath the very kissing gate. I've seen that video. I was very shocked that the dog got through a really small gap. So it does look as though it may have been possible that Willow could have gotten underneath that kissing gate. But it's also possible that she couldn't as well. Because one Springer Spaniel can doesn't mean that Willow could have. Although it is possible, granted, it's very possible. Either way, it doesn't really make a difference to where I'm going with this. It's a different dog. Slightly different size, different temperament, and it's a different scenario completely. However, I do agree that yes, it is very possible that Willow could have gotten underneath the kissing gate. But like I said, it's actually irrelevant. And this leads me on to my next point, which tie in perfectly together. Penny not being a viable witness. Could not agree more. And this is all on reflection. These 2 points, well, this one in particular, the one about a Springer Spaniel going underneath a gate, it's kind of irrelevant. Penny not being a viable witness, though, a couple of people said that. Yeah, but great point. Yeah, totally agree. And I needed to hear that because it not clicked in my head at that point. The person who said they're running between the bench and the gate is the person that I'm suspecting. But like I said, my theory on the Caravan park and the owner, Penny, came after I did my whole trek around St. Michael's on Wire and the river bench area. So it didn't quite click. Does not change for a moment my theory. It strengthened it. So thank you very, very much. Penny being a witness to seeing Willow running between the kissing gate and the bench is more than likely a lie. And I now believe that in Penny's mind, this was to suggest to the police that Nicola has gone through the kissing gate, knowing that it's the only exit not covered by CCTV. And by helping and assisting the police beyond all belief, and they are the words of former SIO Rebecca Smith, by the way. I believe in the Caravan owners' minds, in Penny's minds, by helping and assisting beyond all belief and saying that Willow was running between the bench and the gate. It alludes to Nicola running down that towpath. But the Caravan park's on the right of that towpath. So by helping and assisting beyond all belief, I feel like that's to sway them away from them being suspects. These are things that I've learned and or pondered since that theory video, the last video. Going off the Penny saying that Willow was running between the bench and the kissing gate. I now believe I know why she did that. Again, all in my opinion, but with body to it. So to say that she's running between the bench and the gate, knowing there's no CCTV down there, and helping and assisting, like I just said, Penny would know that Nicola wasn't in the river, so wouldn't want to suggest that she's gone in there, because she would just simply know she wouldn't be found there. I think that her saying that about Willow running to the gate, that she thought the police would think that's where Nicola's gone, but the police didn't. The police immediately went with the river theory, that she'd gone into the river. I don't believe that the Caravan owners, Penny, thought that would be the case. I think they wanted to guide the police to it going down the path. Once you get down the path to Garstang Road, you're relying on dash cam. Not every car's got dash cam. So if Nicola did get to the end, let's say she got to the end of the towpath, a car could have pulled in, she could have got picked up without being caught on dash cam. Dash cam footage not seeing Nicola Bulley doesn't mean that Nicola Bulley didn't walk up Garstang Road, though I don't believe for a moment that she did. But I think the Caravan owners would know that there's no CCTV down on the towpath, and on Garstang Road, they're relying on dash cam. Just because she's not seen doesn't mean that she wasn't there in their eyes. Okay? I hope you're following me here. And I think if you were going to suggest she's gone in the river, you maybe put the phone near the river. Just in my opinion there. Number 2, these are new points, by the way. These are new points I'm making. Things that I've learned since. The police told the community that they'd finished with the search of the bench area. But she was found by Peter Falding 60 metres away. Was she put in the river when the Caravan owners found out that they'd stopped searching the bench area? They will be privy to this information. If the police are sharing this information with the community, they'd be privy to it. Number 3, once the police went with the theory that she was in the river, this gave the Caravan park owners, Penny, an out. So they needed to get Nicola into that river. And with the prior information of we've stopped searching the bench area now, they would know this. It's quite easy to leave that Caravan park unseen. Don't forget, no crime scene, under the cover of darkness. The search teams aren't searching there anymore. And get Nicola, either they can go through the towpath, over a fence, and take her to that corner and put her where Peter Falding said he found her. And what's interesting about the area is all the fence is broken. That's in my previous video as well. Just where Nicola was found by Peter Falding, looks like 2 parts of the fence are broken. Now, I don't know if they were broken then, but they're certainly broken now. Just so happens to be where Peter Falding said that he found Nicola Bulley. So the police had stopped searching and they told the community, there's no crime scene, there's no CCTV down the towpath, and I believe that she was put into the water right at the place where Peter said he found her, and the fences are broken. I think they needed to get Nicola in the river, and this would also make the police look correct with their working hypothesis. Their main working hypothesis was that Nicola has gone into the river. Now, I watched the press conference again with former SIO Rebecca Smith and Peter Lawson. And watching that press conference, I noticed what Becky Smith said about the caravan park owners. There's a show on this channel. They have helped and assisted beyond all belief. It's happened so many times. Ian Huntley helped and assisted beyond all belief. Shannon Matthews' mum helped and assisted beyond all belief. She was under a bed so they could make money off it. Stuart Hazel was doing interviews with a t-shirt of Tia Sharp. She was upstairs in the loft. So helping and assisting beyond all belief. Number 5. A few people have said that they think that it's the grandson or the young lad that works on the caravan park, the one that's seen in the video with Curtis calling him an effing see you next Tuesday. Some people have said they think that it was him. But I don't believe that. I believe that she was killed accidentally. Manslaughter. And the reason why I don't believe it was premeditated is because of this. I don't believe for a moment that Penny and her family and those in the caravan park would cover for a stalker turned murderer. But I do believe what makes more sense is that the family would cover for an altercation that caused the accidental death of Nicola Bulley. That makes more sense. If a family know that she accidentally killed her, you're more likely to cover for that than cover for a premeditated murderer. You'd want to stay away from that one. I mean, you want to stay away from both, but definitely want to stay away from that. I want to make this very, very, very clear. I absolutely think this was an accidental death and not premeditated. Not premeditated at all. But the need for self-preservation is what I believe caused the actions that followed. Number 7. The only way out of that field, without being caught by CCTV, is down the towpath, or, and this is something that I've subsequently learned, and then going back to my own footage, I can now see it, not only the kissing gate, but just behind it, and I'll show you the image on screen now. To the right of the kissing gate, there is like a farmer's gate that opens out kind of thing. So the only way out of that field without being caught by CCTV is down the towpath through the kissing gate or entering the gate to the right of the towpath that leads into the back of the caravan park. The back of the caravan park, which wasn't covered by CCTV. 2 ways out of there. I didn't know about this other gate. I missed it. It's tucked away at the lower field. It's set back, and I missed it. But looking back at my footage, you can see it. Someone has messaged me about this gate. Here's a picture. The CCTV wasn't working. The gate's there. This is what I mean about this is refining my theory much, much more. And I'm going to give it to you in a moment. I 100% believe that Willow was tied up immediately after the altercation. It was reported that Willow was tied up when others arrived on scene, whether it be the police or Paul. Willow was tied up. Penny said that Willow was running between the bench and the gate, and then she was tied up at the bench. I don't believe she was ever running between the bench and the gate now. I believe she was tied up immediately after the altercation. The caravan owner was told to sell his caravan and to leave the site after he spoke on camera about his van being broken into. And this is according to a video on DJ Media, his footage. I'm going to put that video in the description. The gate that leads into the caravan park at the back, not covered by CCTV. Let's keep reiterating that. That gate is a gate that's pushed open. It's one of those ones that swings open. A car can go through there. 11. Now, the Fitbit. I suppose there's many ways you can theorize about that Fitbit. I've heard that water running past it can pick up, act like a heartbeat or something. I don't want to go too much into the Fitbit, but this is just what I believe. This is purely. Everything else I've gone through has body and weight to it, and there's reasons how I've got there. This Fitbit is something which I just truly believe has more of a idea. But is it possible that the Fitbit, once the altercation had happened and the Fitbit was seen on Nicola, don't forget, the Fitbit spiked. Did the Fitbit spike when the altercation happened? And was the Fitbit kept on somebody else to show or try and show that Nicola is alive, so that people would think that she's gone away, that she's gone off on her own accord, and the attention would be averted away from the area, from the river, from the bench, from the caravan park, from the whole area? Because maybe, just maybe, Penny and the caravan owners, for the police will go straight to the Fitbit people and see if there's still heart rate being picked up. And if they did do that, which I'm not sure that they did, because something about it not being synced. I don't know too much about what the police did with regards to the Fitbit. I just know that they said it wasn't synced. But the caravan owners and Penny wouldn't know this. So was it worn? Because they thought the police would immediately go to the Fitbit people to try and get a trace on her, to try and get some kind of tracking on Nicola. And if they would have done that, for example, and someone was wearing the Fitbit, then it would show that she's still alive. And then maybe the police would think that she's just gone off. And that might take the attention away from that area. It is possible. It is possible. And then after 8 days, when he stopped picking up data, put back on Nicola's wrist. And 8 days it's a perfect amount of time. Because that's just as they stopped. This is just as the police and search teams stopped their search of the bench area. And just as Peter Falding arrived. So did they put the Fitbit back on her and then put her into the water? Clean the whole thing, clean the whole Fitbit and put it back on her wrist. It's possible. But that is strongly just an idea. 12. Bruises on the body. Bruises found on Nicola Bulley's body. Okay, let's talk about these then. Accidental death. So she slipped into the river, right? So if she slipped at that bench area and she's hit her body, her head on these rocks that are visible at that bench area, at the bank, that could cause bruises, okay? Possibly. But Nicola would have been found right there, because we know that you are found right where you drowned. So if she drowned just at that bank area, she would have sank and been found right there. With those bruises, yeah? But she wasn't found there. So the bruises haven't come from there, have they? Because she wasn't found there. Taking your own life. if you're just drowning yourself, where are the bruises coming from? So the bruises to me indicate an altercation. This all leads me now to my refined theory. Okay? So all of this now has now led me to my refined theory. And in my opinion, let's make that loud and clear, I believe I know exactly what happened to Nicola Bulley. And it's this. Going off everything that we know and everything that I've said and all the points that I've made, this is what I believe happened. I believe that Nicola was on the field with a dog and that Willow was off the lead. That morning, Nicola didn't look very happy, though it is subjective, but she didn't look very happy on the CCTV. The whole premenopausal thing came out, which it shouldn't have done, but it did. So we kind of know where she might have been mood-wise. Penny, there's footage of her angry, unhappy, snappy, not very helpful lady who is known to not like dogs off leads, who's kicked a dog off her caravan site. And at that kissing gate, it's full, as we've seen in the previous video, it's full of signs saying, keep your dog on the lead, keep your dog on the lead, keep your dog on the lead. There's like 4 or 5 yellow tags. There's a sign there as well, a separate one. So I believe that 2 women, one's angry and snappy, and one's premenopausal and may not have been in the greatest mood that morning. And Willow's off her harness. And I believe that Penny wasn't very happy about this. And I don't think that Nicola Bulley was in any mood to take any shit. And I believe an altercation happened between the pair of them. And I believe that Penny struck Nicola. This is all in my opinion, okay? I'll say it again. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. This is what I believe happened. I believe she struck Nicola. You hear about people being hit once and that's it, it's game over. She may have been hit once in anger and that was it, done, lights out. Or she may have hit her head on the bench. But I believe this altercation, screams were heard, don't forget, the screams were heard. So she goes down, that's it. Accidental death. Panic from Penny. Now you may then go, wouldn't Willow be barking her head off? Well, quite possibly, yeah. Would a dog barking in a field where dogs are being walked, would that be a cause for concern? I highly doubt it. Whether there was barking reported, I'm not sure, but even if there was, I don't believe that's a cause for concern, a dog barking on a field where dogs are walked. I believe that she's panicked, as you would do, and I believe that she tied Willow up there and then at the bench. I then believe that she's called someone from the caravan park, possibly the guy seen in the video on DJE Media's video. A car has come through that gate in a panic. What do we do? What do we do? Shit. I think I might have killed her. Shit. What do we do? Panic. Again, I believe accidental. I think that then the body's been put in the car and drove back through the gate which leads to the back of the caravan park. the caravan park, which doesn't have CCTV at the back, the caravan park, which we know had a vacant caravan, and the caravan park, which we know had a caravan disturbed or broken into because the owner told DJ Media that. So Nicola goes into his caravan. Okay. Then there's a bit of time then to discuss. Penny and the caravan park people, what we're going to do, we'll have to make calls. And when people arrive, police, Paul, whoever, will say that Willow was running between the bench and the gate to allude that she'd gone off down that path. The kissing gate I'm talking about, obviously. And then when people arrive on scene, Penny said Willow was running between the bench and the kissing gate to allude that she'd gone down that path. I think she wanted to guide them in the direction that she'd gone down that path, but they didn't, did they? The police immediately went with, we think she's gone into the river. And I think that Nicola was kept in the caravan for 8 days. Someone may have wore the Fitbit, and I believe she was kept there. We know the caravan was vacant. And then, when the police said that they're not searching the bench area anymore, and their main working hypothesis was that Nicola had gone into the river, they had an out as to what they could do, and it was to get Nicola into the river. And I believe under the cover of darkness, they transported her from the caravan into the river. Peter Falding arrives a couple of days later. By the way, Fitbit data stops after 8 days. Important. Peter Falding arrives, and then he searches his hotspot on day 2, finds her 60 metres down from the bench, where I believe that she's been dumped into the river. That's what I think happened. That is what makes sense to me. It makes perfect sense. So I don't want to sit here and strongly suspect somebody of doing this. I want justice for Nicola Bulley and Nicola Bulley's family. This ain't about churning Nicola Bulley content out. I don't know if many people out there actually realise the ROI of making videos. It's not a lot from AdSense, I'll tell you that. I want justice for Nicola Bulley. Justice hasn't been served yet. This is the only, in my eyes, this is the only thing that makes sense. Everything points to this. Everything. Now, this is hearsay and speculation, what I'm going to say now. I've had comments of people saying that when Penny made statements at the inquest, that she said, "Did I do okay?" I don't know if that's true, but that's comments that I've had. She has changed her statement on a few occasions. Timelines have changed. She's very angry. Why are you so angry? Why is your grandson, or the other guy on the caravan park, so angry? And then the police saying that you've helped and assisted beyond all belief. That does often happen. But as a ruse, as a guise. So that's what I think happened. That's exactly what I think happened. So now this leads me on to the plea to the caravan owner. The gentleman who said that his caravan had been broken into while he was away and while Nicola was missing, said that he's been asked to leave the land and sell his caravan. The video to him saying about his caravan being broken into is in the description. Go and check it out. Right, it's on DJ Media's channel. Go and check it out. And one more thing as well. The comments of people saying she slipped and fell in, get over it. No. Because she'd be found where she slipped. If you drown in water, you go down where you are, unless it's like white water rapids. So those comments of she slipped, she fell in. No. She'd be found. So with respect, you need to look into how bodies react to the drown in water. Unless it is a raging torrent or white water rapids. This is a very, very, very slow moving, sleepy river at the time. So the Caravan plea that I'm now going to do, if you go into the video down in the description, check out what he says. If you're not seeing it, then it is interesting. I'm reaching out to the guy in the video. I'm sure that the man himself may see this video, or someone that knows him will see this video. I'm reaching out to him to email this channel. Email this channel because I and a lot of people would like to know who now owns this caravan that you sold. Who owns it? If we can find out who you sold this caravan to and who owns it now, we can get in touch with that person in a very professional manner, let them know what's going on, let them know the crack. We can get in touch with that person and some forensics can be done inside of that caravan. And DNA lives on for years and years and years and years. And if some of Nicola's DNA can be proven, if some of Nicola's DNA can be found in that caravan, it lends itself to this theory immensely. And then this investigation has to be reopened. Has to be. Because we can prove that Nicola Bulley was in that caravan. If we can find the caravan and get some forensics done on it, and there's no DNA done, there's no Nicola Bulley DNA in there, then it may disprove the theory. But it is a theory. I want justice for Nicola Bulley and her family. No one believes the official narrative. Very, very few, should I say, believe it. So this is the key, and this is the point now to this video, right? If you are the gentleman that sold that caravan, please email breaktheice123@hotmail.com. And let's talk. If you're watching this and you own that caravan now, please do the same thing. And let's find out if Nicola Bulley was ever in that caravan. It could be the key. It could be the key. I think this is the closest we're going to get to a solid theory. Every single thing leads to this point. Everything. I think we're very, very close, but we need to find out who owns that caravan now. So, let's try and find it. Let's try and prove it. Let's try and prove if she was in there. Guys, thank you for watching. Please leave your comments down below. Any insulting comments, they're just going to be removed and deleted, so try as you might, but they're not going to stay there. Disagree with me completely, no problem. If you can add anything that I may have missed, or if you can add anything that may help, please do. And we'll slowly get there. I truly believe we will. So get those comments in. Like the video, of course. Get it moving around the algorithm. Share the video. Most importantly, comment the video. Subscribe to this channel. Look at the playlist, the whole Nicola Bulley playlist that I've got. It's getting bigger and bigger. I want justice for Nicola Bulley, her family and her children, because I don't believe the official narrative, and not many people do. Thank you everybody for watching this video, and we'll see what comes, and we'll see what your comments bring, and hopefully we're getting ever so slightly closer and closer all the time. So one more time, thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks for all the comments from the prior video and all the interaction. And as always, peace out.